And so I just want to say I've had the privilege of spending a lot of time in your region over the last year, although I do recognize I'm speaking as an outsider. So I just want that to be clear that that's my perspective. And I want to first begin by just thanking each and every one of you for your service and your professionalism. The awards earlier were really inspiring, and they do reflect that seal that I see on display. You have a hard decision before you, and as a leader who myself has had to consider these exact agreements, I just want to say I'm aware of the challenges you hold and the pressure before you, even as there's public comment here, and also just the pressure of the job to make responsible decisions. And so I want to be very clear. I'm not going to tell you how to vote or how to do your job. You have a job to do, but I want to ensure that your board is fully aware of the concerns simply from a liability perspective, because it was pretty jarring to me when I had to be faced with this. I'm not sure how many of you are aware of the Lehigh-Galarza case, but this is a case where an administrative error was made on a civil detainer, and errors get made. I'm sure you guys have made errors before, and you know, the process for a good organization that makes an error is they own it and they take responsibility. Instead, in that case, ICE left Lehigh County holding the bag. And Lehigh County was the one who was sued for it. And you can go look up that case. And ultimately, they were the ones who had to foot the bill for an error that wasn't theirs that was made, but they were doing it at the direction of this department that you're considering entering into a cooperation with. And when I asked if we could get an indemnification clause, we were denied that option. And I guess I would just simply say, without an indemnification clause, I think there's a lot of risk in entering this. You know, a detainer can be placed by an ICE agent, a civil detainer can be placed by an ICE agent, and then it can be applied in error because maybe they didn't have accurate information or any number of reasons, and then one of your officers enforces that order under this agreement, and then it doesn't, then it goes wrong and a lawsuit is applied. It doesn't only reflect poorly on your officers, but it exposes you to the liability of civil lawsuit. And it's important for you to know, Section 1983, local, county, and state law enforcement are the only ones written into that law. So federal agents cannot be sued for civil infractions, but you can. And so it will ultimately be you footing the bill if an administrative error is made or your officers act on that administrative error. And so there's just no provisions for federal law enforcement currently. And so I just think it's really important that your solicitor ensures that the benefit of the income outweighs the risk of liability and potential lawsuit, and ultimately what that cost could be to your department. And I just want to thank each and every one of you again for your service.